Alright, so we got our new blade, Diablo Steel Demon from Freud. That's how it's pronounced. Alright, so this is for thick ferrous metals. So it's specifically designed to cut metal, which is, remember what we're cutting. Cut this 1/8 inch flat bar. So this is from 1/8 to 3/8 inch thickness. So it should be plenty powerful enough to cut through, hopefully easily, the 1/8, because it can cut up to a 3/8. And specifically designed for cutting metal. It's also got these cutouts, which, as it explains, stabilizer vents to prevent vibration. So a lot of the rough edges of the cutting we've been doing so far, I think, are due to the fact that the Evolution blade is just a solid blade. It's a combination blade, whereas this has these cutouts to help reduce vibration. They're designed by the manufacturer. So this is only a 7-inch blade, 180 millimeters. This is a 7 1/4 inch, so it's 184 millimeters. And but it still should work fine for our application. Because we're cutting such thin stock, it shouldn't have any problem covering that area. So we'll get this out of the package using our handy open it clippers so we don't hurt our fingers. I wish I had invented these. So they have an offset jaws. You just cut through these type of packaging without worrying about cutting your fingers. This stuff is super sharp once you cut it. You just cut through each side. That's enough to get everything out. Like that. Okay. Still connected to these little copper things. Alright, so here's our blade. Now we need to get this blade off. So that's a multi-step process. First we got to get this cover off. So these Allen nuts here are 3 millimeters. So we're going to use our screwdriver to get these off. Shouldn't take too long. Of course, this is unplugged. That's important. Alright, so it's held by a captive pin on this side. This last one is hitting the frame. The frame's in the way, but not that much in the way. And we can close that, and then you can see the arbor. So I don't know if I mentioned it before, but one of the deal about this Evolution saw is from the UK, so it's got a 20 millimeter arbor. Most US saws of this size are going to have a 5/8, which is smaller. So 5/8 won't fit in this. So you have to order these special blades that are metric. So this has a 20 millimeter arbor, just like the blade that's in there. So this is a 5 millimeter Allen wrench here. Oh, we have to hold the little. There's a little button back in the back here you used to hold to lock the blade in place. Locks the shaft so you can loosen it up. And this is held in by friction. It's not super tight, which is always kind of neat. That's this washer. Get this blade out, take a look at it. Next we're going to lift this up. Blade out. So here's the Evolution blade. It's got a 20 millimeter arbor. And it's designed to cut mild steel, aluminum, wood, and plastic. So it's a combination blade. And compare that with this one. You can see it's got these, this has this alternating direction things with the cutting edges on this side, but this is all cutting, the cutting direction. So this is good. This is the rotation. Rotation is the same. So if you want the label on the outside, this drops in there. Goes over the arbor, we put the nut back on. It's keyed, so it goes in one spot here. Get in there. put the nut back on. Nut has its own washer. Tighten it up. You don't need to make it super tight for some reason. I never quite understood that. So we got a 5mm Allen wrench. We got to push the button in the back here to lock the shaft and just tighten it up. Then we can back around there. Alright, so I'll button this up. I have to put these nuts back in. I'll button this up and then we'll take it outside and give it a shot, see how much better it cuts the steel. We're hoping it's going to have a nice smooth cut with very little cleanup. That's the whole purpose of this exercise, so we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so we're ready to give this new blade a chance. Remember, this is Diablo Steel Demon. So we've got one of our longest cut, which is about 80mm, set up in the saw. We'll give it a shot and see if it will cut more smoothly than the other one. Slightly smoother. Look at that. That's a lot better. It just needs a little bit of wire brushing and it's done. I don't need to use the grinder. So I would say this Steel Demon, Diablo Steel Demon, is the winner. Alright, so let's recap. We're trying to cut this 1/8 inch flat bar, 3/4 of an inch thick. Wide, rather. And so first we tried the good old hacksaw. That works fine, just slow. Then I tried a metal cutoff saw in my 10-inch chop saw. And unfortunately, in that case, I was cutting the steel this way. I didn't really understand I needed to cut it this way. But in any case, it got so hot that was melting the plastic parts of my chop saw, so that didn't work. And it was pretty slow. Then we tried the Sawzall. Sawzall worked pretty well, but the ends, this is with a metal cutting blade. The ends that were cut off were kind of rough, and it was very, a lot of work, and again, pretty slow because you're just cutting one at a time. Then we got the Evolution chop saw, and with the combination blade, it did okay. But if you remember, the ends of the cuts were really rough. And the final winner is the Diablo Steel Demon. It's only 7 inches, 180mm in diameter, but it works fine for application. And it made a really clean cut. It just has a little bit of a edge on it here. I'll need to take off with the wire brush. So that's the winner, and that's what we're going to go with from now on. Definitely recommended the Diablo Steel Demon for cutting this kind of steel. So I'll do a review, and maybe after about 100 cuts or so, to see how the sharpness is holding up. This is only the first cut, so you never know. Alright, here's our 100th cut. Cut all this stuff, cut all these pieces. One more to go. So I learned a couple things. One is just move it slowly through the material. Don't just slam it down. It will slam down. It'll slam down for you, but it cuts better if you just go smoothly. And then with these short pieces, you got to let the blade stop moving before you lift it up, or else it'll kick it and go. Who knows where it'll go. So here's the 100th cut. Alright, so let's take a look at it. Alright, so it's pretty good. It's got some burrs on it. So we'll try cleaning it up with the grinder, and we'll see if it's just cleaning it up with the wire mesh in it. One needs these pliers to hold on to it because it's kind of short. Alright, that cleaned up nicely with just the wire. Just the wire brush. I don't need to use the grinder, so that'll save a ton of time. I gotta clean up these other 100 though, so that'll take a while. So. Beta Cygni signing out, and gotta say that the Diablo Steel Demon 7-inch metal cutting blade did a good job, and I'd recommend it. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Beta Cygni out.